Hey, everybody.
Welcome back to our podcast where we agree
To disagree.
on everything under the sun. Today, we will be, we probably will be agreeing to disagree because we're talking about budgeting.
My favorite.
First reactions.
I don't know how to budget, so here we go.
We'll also be covering topics of joining together finances once you're married, being a saver versus a spender, having credit cards. Before we jump into this, we just want to say we know that everyone's financial situation is different, and this isn't about how much money you make, but rather how you can budget and what you do with it. So we're going to share.
Jonas is really good at that, so.
I try. Yeah, I feel like I am. So we're going to share how we personally choose to budget, things that we do. Neither of us are financial advisors, so just kind of take that with a grain of salt. But let's get into it with some research. Only 32% of U.S. households prepare a monthly budget. Does that surprise you?
No.
I think it would be. I would have thought it'd be less than that because I feel like budgeting is a thing that a lot of people don't really do.
I already kind of thought that was kind of low.
I mean, I don't know. It's 1 in 3. 71% of Americans have a savings account.
That's pretty good.
I don't know. That does surprise me. I feel like everyone should have a savings account. Like if you have a checking account, checking accounts usually come with savings account.
I know, but I feel like a lot of people are like in debt and have charge cards and stuff. So the fact that 71% of people have a savings account, it's pretty good.
I guess.
I mean, it should be better, but
65% of Americans have no idea how much they spent last month. How do you have no idea?
that's me. I mean, I would
I
be
guess
like,
that's true. So you're
without
part of
you,
that
I
statistic.
probably wouldn't even look at that. I'd be like,
yeah, you'd have
just
no
pay
idea.
my bills. Hopefully I can make it.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, I don't know, that's an issue. If you have no idea how much you spend, I don't know, I guess you just hope that you can pay your bills. I don't know. 21% of Americans don't save any of their annual income.
Wow.
I mean, that one doesn't surprise me because I saw this chart. I probably should have remembered more about it, but I just remember the chart, and it was just like savings over time, and just like over time, people are getting worse at saving. And so, the number of people living paycheck to paycheck, it's also kind of like...
Well, also, the market right now is really tough, and a lot more people have to be spending money on things, and it's...
Yeah, that does make it hard. Inflation's up, which means prices for stuff is up, but wages don't tend to follow inflation, so that makes life hard. Gen Z is the least likely generation to know what they spent, followed by millennials. Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's the chart I was talking about. It's like the younger you are, like the newer generations, they're just not as good at saving. And it's kind of a cultural thing, like...
Yeah, it's not good.
But you think our grandparents ever cared about buying designer clothes or purses or anything like that? Heck no. They were still in hand carts.
I wish it wasn't a thing.
Yeah, but
That'd be nice.
Like the flex culture, like show off like what you have. Nearly 1/3 of Americans said they wish they spent less money in the last month. I would have thought that'd be higher. I mean, I always wish that we would have spent
same.
less. Well, really?
I do. It's hard not to.
It's actually funny that we're talking about budgeting today because literally today I went over our finances for last month. Beginning of every month, I go over our finances for the last month. Do you even know that I do this?
I know nothing.
Oh, well, you should know because it's always at the beginning of the month when I text you questions about stuff you spent.
I guess.
So
I
I'm on.
Right.
I get text alerts every time there's a transaction from one of our credit cards or bank accounts.
And it's so annoying because I always get a text. Why'd you spend money? What'd you buy? Return it right now.
It wasn't for you though. Like I already had that before we got married. It's just because like if any of my money ever moves, I just want to know. Right?
It's nice. Yeah, it's true.
And so I mean,
I hate it, but it's good.
It's so helpful because so many times I'll like get a text and it's like, hey, you were charged. And it was like a subscription that I thought I canceled, How many people in the world are still paying for things they don't even know,
That's true.
Or like money will get taken out of my bank account, for something that, I always know if money ever comes in or leaves, bank accounts, credit cards, anything, I always know. So I stay on top of it like that. But at the end of the month,
This is why Jonas is an expert at budgeting.
at the end of the month, I go through and I look at the bank statements, just kind of like just go over to reconcile. So I see the money that came in. I have an Excel spreadsheet where I keep track of our income, business expenses, and other stuff. So I look at that. I also make notes because a lot of like our income isn't super steady. And so sometimes like we're expecting a payment from someone and I have to stay on top of it, because it's not like a normal paycheck that just comes every 2 weeks. So I keep up to date on that. And then I go through our credit cards. And if it's a month where we spent a lot of money, I go through and Amex has like a spend analyzer. I also use Mint. It's a cool feature. You can connect like all your bank accounts and credit cards, and it shows you like your spending habits and trends, and it'll show you cool pie charts of like what we spend money on. Ours is actually pretty good. It's pretty reasonable because most of our money is spent like on our mortgage and like cars. You spend a lot of money on shopping, but relatively it's actually not that much.
That's good.
And then we do spend
Progress.
Yeah, it's getting better for sure. And then we do spend money on food and eating out and stuff. But anyways, so I go through all of that. And so I'm actually glad we're talking about the budget today because the first question is, do we have a budget? And
No.
the funny thing is we've talked about this on this podcast multiple times.
Too many times.
We're always like, let's do it. Like, we need to start a budget. I think we've shared the story too. One time we made a budget. Remember? And then you just crumbled it up and threw it out the window because you went over budget day 2 on shopping.
Yeah, because I didn't realize how fast money goes.
Yeah. And so we just never tried again after that because I'm like, well, that was pointless.
Yeah, it was kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, so I don't know, maybe now that you understand better, we could try again. I was just demoralized because we spent a long time going through like budgeting stuff out, and it was like February 2nd. It was like last year when we did it. I get a text and you had spent like more than the budget just at one store, and then you go to another store. So no, we don't have a budget. I have an unofficial budget. I have another spreadsheet where when I did make that budget, I made a budget. Because I handle all of our finances, and so I, control like the big things we spend money on. The only thing I don't control is pretty much just you when you buy stuff.
Yeah, I'm not a lot of help in this episode, sadly, but
yeah,
I just have a lot of bad spending habits.
I wouldn't say they're bad. I mean, you've gotten a lot better.
That's good.
Wouldn't you agree, though?
Yeah.
Like, you're really, because you used to be, because before we were married, like, you were living at home, and then you were at the U, but you were on scholarship, and so you didn't have to pay, for housing or anything. So until we got married, you never really had to worry about, like, saving money or, like, setting
True,
stuff
because I
aside.
never had a job to, like,
Yeah, you never had a
save
job.
money.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was kind of a learning experience for you when we got married. We actually, remember for the longest time when we were dating, or I think we were engaged. We probably talked about when we were dating, but I didn't want to have a joint bank account.
Mm-hmm. I remember it pretty well.
And I don't know, because I'm pretty particular with how I handle my
And then
money
I'm
and
like,
stuff.
well, I'm not making any money, so.
Well, that's what I was worried about, because you were just broke, just training, just living at your parents' house. And I'm like, so let me get this straight. We get married, and then you're going to spend my money. But I talked to so many people, and I was young, and everyone told me, like, hey, your marriage will be better if you have, like, it'll probably be better. Obviously, some people have separate bank accounts and it works just fine. But for the most part, friends, people I worked with, people I knew said, hey, you should probably just have a joint bank account. And so we did it when we got married, and it was a good learning experience for both of us.
Mm-hmm. It was tough, but it was good.
It was tough, but we've gotten pretty good now.
I'd say
I would
so.
say, yeah. I think
It all worked out.
I think the biggest thing that's helped is that our closet is smaller in this house than in our previous apartment. And so
Which
it's
is
like,
so weird to me, but
well, I think it's great because now even if you buy clothes, it's like, where do they go? The floor? So you still do buy clothes, and that still does blow my mind. But I feel like it's not as much as it used to be.
I can agree. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's good. Um, we don't really have separate accounts for like shopping, vacation, going on dates. We try and spend. I say we. It's pretty much just me and you help. We try and save as much money as we can. So, and this is one thing I always talk about because we're saving for a down payment on a new house eventually one day. Because we don't want to stay here forever.
A new car for me.
Yeah, Mykayla has been wanting a new car because your new car kind of turned into my new car last year.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
But I don't really have specific buckets. I just pretty much all of the money that we make besides fixed expenses like mortgage, car payment, groceries, and then whatever doesn't get spent, I just put it in the savings account, and then I take money from the savings account, and depending on the year, I invest it. I say depending on the year because 2020 and 2021, I did a lot of investing, and it was a great time to do it. 2022, lost a lot of money in the first 6 months. The market, especially for crypto, was really bad. And so since then, I haven't done any investing since like summer of last year. I've just been waiting for the market to cool off. Yeah,
Oh.
I just put it in savings. So our savings account is just getting bigger.
That's good. Keep it going.
Yeah. And then I work with Kyle. You know Kyle?
Mm-hmm. Kyle, yeah.
Yeah, I work with, because you always ask what I do with Kyle. Kyle's my investment guy, financial advisor. And then he handles investment accounts. That's more like index funds, brokerage account, and our IRAs. You know what that is?
I should know.
Individual retirement account.
Yeah, there you go.
So it's money you put in and then it grows and then you
I've heard
take
of
it out when you're
IRAs,
retired.
but I just stop making me look dumb.
No, you're good. Did you know though that I'm saving for retirement for us?
Yes, you've told me.
Yeah, and you've helped. You've contributed towards it.
You're welcome.
Thanks. We don't really have like, because we both make money, obviously. And you used to be really bad about this. You'd be like, well, that's my money and that's your money. And you'd tell me that like my money was meant for buying the house and your money was meant for shopping.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, that's not really. And it took you a bit, but now it's just, I think we're good. Like we both make money, both goes to the same place. I work with it. But we're big on saving. So we have IRAs, we have brokerage accounts, index funds. I try and be pretty diversified. I do my own crypto, and I have a Robinhood account where if there's some stocks that I want to buy. But all of the stuff that I do with Kyle is just long term, just planning for the future. And then everything else I just keep in the savings account, and that's for, like saving for a down payment on a new house, new car. If there's a big expense like a vacation, maybe I'll move some money from there to checking. But that's kind of the gist of it. That's kind of how we handle finances. And I actually really like this stuff. I don't know if you can tell.
Yeah, to me, I'm just like,
Mykayla doesn't really care. So it actually works out great. Works out really well because I almost thought I was going to study finance in college, but then it was kind of boring. So I really like investing. I like working with money. That was one of my first jobs when I worked at Northwestern Mutual. Actually, my first internship, I should say. So it's pretty easy because...
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Western Mutual.
So it works out for us. Did you ever learn how to budget? I have a long answer for this one, so I want to ask you this one.
I did not.
Did you ever learn anything about money or anything? I mean, you never really had...
Well, I took a finance class.
Oh, in school? Like financial lit?
I don't know. Remember you helped me with the math part of it? What did I take? Finance?
Oh, you took personal finance.
Personal
I remember
finance,
that.
yeah.
I thought you were talking about like high school because I took financial lit in high school.
Mm-mm.
I do remember that at the U. That was a cool class.
Yeah. I learned a lot, actually.
You actually really did, yeah. That was a fun class for me to help because it was, for me at least, it was pretty easy. And so I think that's the one class of your entire school career where I've enjoyed helping you with homework.
Thanks.
You're welcome, because it was just kind of fun.
It actually wasn't like that hard. I just kind of struggle with math, so like understanding like what to do and stuff, you helped kind of teach me through the process, so that was nice.
Have you ever had any interest in money or finances?
No.
Not at all? What about just money in general?
Well, yeah, because you gotta have money to live.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not like, I don't know, don't look at me.
I still
like batting
remember.
your eyes at me, I'm like, I don't know.
I still remember the first time you found out that I would invest in stocks. I don't
I
know.
was so annoyed.
Yeah.
I was so mad at you. I'm like,
I
why
remember.
are we just throwing away money?
I remember Steve and Jordan thought this was so funny because I still
Why did
remember.
you tell them about it?
Yes, because the exact words that you told me, you're like, well, what are you doing wasting all of our money buying stocks? And you were like so mad about it. And it's just funny because no one talks like that, like spending money on stocks, like because you're investing in stocks.
Well, I didn't really know.
I know, but you didn't really get it. You're like, you spent $5,000. You just thought I just
I'm like,
bought
I could
something.
buy a Louis Vuitton, 2 Louis Vuitton bags.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. That's the way that Mykayla, you kind of still do, the way that Mykayla measures money or purchases or expenses is how many Louis Vuitton bags can you buy? So when she learned that I put $5,000 in stock, she's like, we could have bought 4 Louis Vuitton bags with that. But then you learned that I'm not just spending money on stocks. You buy it, and the value hopefully goes up, and then you can resell it or hold on to it. A lot of things you can do. But I remember. Do you remember when I started getting into crypto?
Yeah, I do.
What were your thoughts on that? Because that's even more confusing than stocks.
I know. I just didn't really get it, but I'm like, you do you. You're good at it. You know what you're doing, so I trust you. But the whole process and thing and how it works and it's just like so interesting.
Did it make any sense to you? I feel like I didn't even really talk to you a whole lot about it.
Yeah, but we talked about crypto on one of our episodes. And
I know, but I mean,
that kind of helped me understand it. Yeah, that kind of helped me to understand it better.
I mean, when I first started investing, though, in crypto.
I don't know. I feel like I just kind of let you do your thing.
I know. I feel like I kind of told you, but I just knew you wouldn't really understand. I kind of tried to talk to you, and you're like, oh, yeah, you didn't really care. Which is funny because at the same time, because right when crypto started to blow up, I had been in it for a little bit. And so I would like help a lot of friends get into it, or they were trying to understand it or learn or just know how to invest. And I remember a lot of my friends are like, man, yeah, I'll have to check with my wife before I put money into it. And that was just such a foreign concept to me because I'm like, check with your wife. And like, Mykayla has no idea like how much money's even in our, and it's just not saying one way's right or wrong. It's just funny how different people just deal with money differently.
Well, and sometimes, the women take charge in the finances and do all the bills. So, like, my mom does it all.
Yeah, that's true.
My dad doesn't. So, I guess it just depends on who's in charge of the household.
Hey, Mello. But I learned to budget from a very, very young age. Shout out to my dad and my parents, because my dad would always like include me and the rest of the kids with like family. We'd always have a family budget. We'd have like personal budgets. We'd have different budgets for different stuff. And like he would just kind of walk us through like his finances, like the family finances. And so I learned from a pretty young age just principles, of save more than you spend, set aside money, budget, be safe with your money, plan. And then when I was younger, my dad had me use Quicken. Do you know what that is? It's software just for like money management. It's kind of like Mint.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like an Excel spreadsheet on steroids. But I started using that as soon as I started making money, which I started babysitting, when I was younger.
You would babysit? Oh, like your siblings?
No, just like other kids.
You did?
Yeah, you didn't know this?
No?
That was my first. I was a killer babysitter. Because I was like,
Okay, well, how the babysitting go? Did you actually play with the kid, or did you just...
yeah, there's this kid named Max. And I was like 11 or 12 when I started babysitting. I don't know, he's probably like 7. And he was just the coolest kid. And we would just play sports or like play with Legos because he lived right next to a park. I would babysit him all the time. And it was way cool.
Wow.
You didn't know this?
Maybe you'll be a good parent after all.
Well, I'm sure I'll be a good parent.
I mean, I'm sure you are, but it just worries me. Like, with the first one, it's just different and it's hard. So I'm always curious, like, how it's going to go down when we have a baby.
I killed it as a babysitter. And then there were 2 twins, Neil and Vishal, that I babysat. We played less sports, but same thing. We'd play a lot of games. Like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm a cool guy. That was just my thing. Like, those kids, we'd play sports. We'd, I don't know, watch movies, order pizza. That was my first job. I saved up money after babysitting for like 2 or 3 years, and I bought the iPad when it came out.
Oh,
Yeah, that was like my first big purchase.
it's cute.
But if I had put that money in Apple stock,
Oh no, here we go.
yeah, that kind of hurts me to think about, but it's fine. Anyways, so when I started babysitting, I would get paid, and I was probably like $5 an hour. I don't know, maybe it was more, but I would use Quicken to keep track how I made my money.
Do they still have Quicken?
Yeah, it's still a thing. I don't know if people still use it as much. Mint's pretty popular because you can sync it up with, I don't know, maybe Quicken do that too. And anytime I spent money, I would enter it in. So I'd be like, hey, like I went to Subway, bought a sandwich, $5, and then it would show me where my money was going, that sort of stuff.
This podcast is brought to you by Oathcare, a new model of healthcare rooted in community to improve the health of all families.
Oathcare provides complete support for mothers experiencing the fertility, pregnancy, and pediatric journey. Oath gives you direct access to maternal and child health specialists paired with a support system of fellow mothers. Oath matches you with your own care team, a stage-based specialist, mental health therapist, and trained parent guide to answer any and all questions 7 days a week, all within one chat. Oath has ancillary care specialists such as sleep and lactation consultants, pelvic floor therapists, and specialists in nutrition, exercise, speech, and early childhood development that are tagged into your chat to specifically answer your questions, and they host weekly calls so that you can receive medical expertise that is paired with wisdom from the other Oath members on the call. Additionally, they have 4 stage-based communities as the initial way for moms to connect in the Oath app outside of their intimate Oath Care team chat.
Join Oathcare for a stress-free community to connect with fellow parents, moderated by the experts of credible support and solutions. We provide judgment-free support and personalized guidance for motherhood. Expert-moderated communities provide built-in and humanized fact-checking to ensure parents are receiving the most up-to-date, evidence-based advice.
The community feature is free and always will be, and they have 4 stage-based communities where parents can ask questions and support each other through pregnancy, postpartum, infant, toddler, and young child. The support grows with you. You can find your own virtual village, and it's moderated by experts.
So 1, personalized guidance. Oath matches you with your own care team, a stage-based specialist, mental health therapist, and trained parent guide to answer any and all questions 7 days a week, all within one chat, which is incredible. Oath has ancillary care specialists such as sleep and lactation consultants, pelvic floor therapists, and specialists in nutrition, exercise, speech, and early childhood development that are tagged into your chat to specifically answer your questions, and they host weekly calls so that you can receive medical expertise that is paired with wisdom from the other Oath members on the call.
For more information, you can check out the website oathcare.com or download the Oathcare app directly from the Apple App Store or Google Play at the link in our bio. Who is a saver and who is a spender?
Why don't we ask all the followers that question? Because I'm sure they know pretty dang well who that is.
Okay, we know. But the real question is, can a spender learn how to be a saver?
Oh, yeah.
I would say so. I mean, you've definitely learned.
I've gotten better.
What about vice versa? Can a saver learn to be a spender?
I think so.
That's harder. So I'm a saver. I don't think I've ever really turned into a spender.
Yeah, but I think if you like found something you became really passionate about or something,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know,
like
and
I
then
bought myself a set of golf clubs. I bought my snowboard get up, my snow clothes and
that's
stuff.
true.
But that's like
But I mean,
I don't know if I call it being a spender because I'll
no,
make one big purchase like every 6 months. You just like buying things.
I do just like to buy things. It's true.
How would our marriage look different if it was the opposite? What if you were a saver and I was a spender?
I don't know. Probably wouldn't. I don't know. Probably wouldn't go so well. I don't
It's
know. I
kind of
don't
funny
like
to
it.
think about.
I don't know. I don't want to be in charge of all the finances.
We'd
And
probably be broke.
if you were a spender,
If I was a spender, yeah, and
you
you were a
think?
saver, because I'm the one that knows more about finances and budgeting and stuff. And if I was the one just spending all of it, I feel like that's like what would you do? You know,
I don't know. Don't ask me. Probably. Yeah, you're probably right.
that would be
It's like
bad.
hard to think about.
It is hard to think about. Credit cards. Okay, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Okay.
Okay,
Ready.
difference between a credit card and a debit card.
I always get these mixed up because I
Just
used to have a credit card and a debit card, and I always have to call my mom and be like, "Which card can I use?" Because doesn't I'm gonna mess it up. It's been too long. A credit card is where you have to put money on it, and then one of them. Wait, how does it work? What are?
You're close. Do you want me to just tell you?
Yeah, I'm really dumb right now.
So no, you're good. So debit card just takes it straight out of your account.
Right, and the other one you have to load it, take it out of your savings or
No, the other one you have to pay it off.
pay it off. That's right. Cause yeah,
So there's pros and cons. Um,
but it's good because then if you do the one where you have to pay it off, you're
yep,
you're
yep,
helping with your credit.
yep. That's it.
So it's sometimes good to do it that way because then you build your credit.
Yeah,
I
credit.
couldn't think of my brain's not working right now, and I cannot. The words are not. I'm like,
You're good. The good
I
thing
think
about
it's stage fright, honestly.
the good thing about a credit card too is that you get cash back or points or rewards.
Yeah.
With a debit card, I mean some do, but for the general most part, danger with a credit card is that if you're not good with it, you can spend more money than you have, and then there's interest on them, and so I think
What's the card I always use?
just the
The
Amex,
American
yeah, the
Express.
credit
What?
card.
It's a credit card.
So we don't even we have a debit card.
I don't really use it.
I've never given you one.
I have one.
Really? The
Isn't it
purple
the
one?
pink one?
No,
Oh.
the pink one's a
What's the
credit
pink
card.
one? Oh, sorry. I
Yeah,
don't
so I've never given you. I've never even used our debit card really, just because.
know.
So here's the thing about with credit cards, if you use it like a debit card, it's a no-brainer because I have our credit cards just on auto pay, so they all get paid off at the end of the month, builds our credit, don't pay any interest,
Okay.
and then we just get points. We get cash back. And do you know how many credit cards we have?
I'm gonna go with 4.
We have 3.
Okay.
Actually, no, you're right. We do have 4.
Hmm.
Yeah, good job. 3 of them are no-fee credit cards, and one of them, which we use for pretty much everything, is our Amex. That has a little fee. But do you know why
What
we
about
have
our Apple?
no fee?
Does that count?
Yeah, it's a credit card. That's the 4th. Do you know why we have 4 credit cards?
No.
Really? You've never wondered that?
I don't know. Growing up, sometimes I'd have 2 or 3 credit cards because my mom would be like, this for this, or use this one, or here's that one, or when you travel, here's that one.
Yeah, so it's because of the cash back. So we use our Amex for pretty much everything just because it's really good. We get like 1% cash back on everything, and then we get like 4% cash back on like the top 2 categories that we spend that month, and then like 2% on something else. It's really good. And the rewards for Amex are really good. We get points, and we usually just use those for Delta, just for flights. But we have a Discover card, and that gives 5% cash back in rotating categories. That's the pink one.
I know, but you haven't told me to use that one in a while.
Because
Why?
this category, it's for grocery stores, but it doesn't include Walmart and Target, and that's where we shop. I know, it's dumb. But starting in
That's
April,
probably why, because they're like, we know they'd get
I
banked
know,
there.
yeah, but starting in April, it's for restaurants.
Mm.
And it's the same every year. So you know how every year for like a few months, I'll tell you just use the pink card for
Yeah, for
restaurants?
food, yeah.
That's why.
Hmm.
And then in December, it's for Amazon. So that's why I always switch over Amazon. And then we have the Fidelity credit card because that one, we don't use that one anymore. That one used to be our main one. We don't really use it at all, but it's just 2% cash back flat. And that cash back would go straight to my brokerage account so I could just invest it. So that was pretty cool. So I still have it just to have it, but we don't use it. And there's no fee or anything. And then the Apple one,
I use for Apple products.
yeah, because you get 5%, I think. Or it's like 3 or 5% off Apple products. So anytime we get new phones or laptops, I just buy it cash and use the Apple card. So
That's how we roll.
That's how we roll. That's the
That's
breakdown
how
of our
we
credit
roll.
cards. That's pretty much our finances. That's budgeting. That's our credit cards.
I don't really have to talk
That's
a lot.
I know. You got lucky.
I'm just
you
sitting
didn't.
here taking it all in because it's all new information to me.
I know that's the
so.
funny thing. This is probably the first time that you've heard most of this, which is awesome because I just do my thing and
You just tell me, hey, don't spend much this month.
I tell you that every month.
Let's keep it going.
Yeah, but anyways, maybe we will try a budget again.
And when that finally happens.
Honestly, because here's the thing, because every other category, because when I did the budget, it was like house. So like mortgage, HOA, utilities, that's pretty much all of our house expenses. That's like the main thing. Car payment, gas for your car, oil changes, maintenance. And there's like food, like groceries and dining. And then like there's one like just for fun or like date night. Literally every single category that I budgeted, we hit except for your shopping one. So I think
Okay.
that's kind of why, and like we still, I said we have like an unofficial budget. We still hit those, like we're still fine except for your shopping one. So it's like
What's the shopping budget in your thing? In your list?
I don't remember, but when we said it, I think it
Oh,
was like,
okay, I see. When you
Yeah.
have the budget set. I see. I
yeah,
see what you mean.
everything else we're pretty good with. It's just kind of, we just need to pick a better number for your shopping, which is fine. I mean, you make money, so, you can spend it, but maybe we'll try
I
it.
know not to spend all of it, but I feel like sometimes even when I get my money, you don't want me to spend any of it. And I'm like, come on, bro.
Well, I'm a saver.
Yeah, but if I went and did my
Bro.
gymnastics meet and made some decent money, I should be able to spend a little. Not saying I need to spend half, but just a little chunk. And even then, it's like
You do that, though.
I'll spend like $100 or $200 on some new clothes, and you'll be like, ah!
Well, no,
and
the
I'm like,
scary thing, no, you'll spend $1,000, and then you'll be like, oh, I'm going to return most of this stuff.
I do though.
I know, and I end up seeing it, but it still does scare me.
Because sometimes
I'm
for like
"Holy
photo shoots
crap."
or things, like I might need stuff. So then I get it, or like I'll
You'll
maybe
get-
want something and it doesn't fit me right, and this and that. So then like it'll be like $700, and then it'll end up being like I only keep like $25
I know, so I don't know why you don't just go to the store in person.
because I don't have an Abercrombie here.
Oh, really? Not even at City Creek?
No, the one that was at Gateway closed down because remember that's not really like a mall anymore.
Oh, that's too bad.
Because they had one at Gateway, which I don't know why they haven't put one in City Creek or somewhere else here because like all the influencers here shop there. So it's just weird to me that they haven't put one here again since Gateway. So
Well, until then, maybe we pick a budget. We'll see. We'll let you guys know.
I'm also a really small person and I'm 5 feet tall and a lot of clothes don't fit me. So sometimes I have to order online because even if I go in store, they don't always have petite and I need petite. So it's like sometimes I have to get it online anyway, and then it sucks because sometimes you don't know how it's going to work or fit. So then I always have to return it, and it's just really annoying. But you know how that is because you're tall.
Yeah, I was going to say,
You have to
I
order
can
some of your
relate.
stuff in tall, so.
But that's why I stick with the same 3 brands because I know their sizes work for me.
Yeah, so do I, but then sometimes I get stuff and it doesn't fit me right.
How would that work if it's the same brand and the same size?
I don't know, because like sometimes jeans are fit a little different or they're made a little different.
Because all
I
I
don't
wear
know.
is I wear Lululemon, and I know what sizes for them work for me. Fabletics joggers, PacSun for everything else, and Built t-shirts. That's all I need.
And you're a dude, so it's nice.
And then
Girls have tops
and then
and
you buy me
shirts and purses and bags and pants and shorts and this and that, and guys just have like 3 simple items in their closet. I'm like, how do anything to be a dude sometimes? It just seems so easy and nice.
and then you buy me all the swimsuits.
It's cute. Getting you ready for summer.
It is cute.
You have a banging body, so you got to have a banging swimsuit.
I appreciate that.
Because Jonas literally has like the same swimsuits from like high school, and I'm like,
It still fit me.
what are those?
You wanna send us off with the assumption today?
I guess so. I feel like it's always my duty to do the assumptions.
This one's good.
Today's assumption, and again, for those who are new to the podcast, hopefully I didn't bore you too much today with not saying as much as Jonas, but Jonas is good at this stuff, and I'd rather listen and take it all in and let you guys learn something from it. But we always do an assumption. Once in a while, I'll post on my Instagram. Haven't done it in a while, but that's because the last time I did it, I got so many that it's just been awesome. Just been able to use them all. So I'll put a post on my feed. You guys will respond with your assumption of Jonas and I. And so we always do that at the end of our podcast. And so today's assumption is Mykayla spends most of her money on clothes and Jonas spends most of his money on food. And that, I have to say, is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, definitely
Whoever
agree.
said that,
That's it.
that's pretty accurate. You know us too well.
That's it. I mean, I don't really spend that much money on groceries because, again, all I really eat at home is just eggs and oatmeal and protein shakes. But I eat sushi a lot, and sushi is not cheap.
It's true. I don't eat sushi, so you're welcome.
Yeah.
Saves you some money there.
Yeah, but you also buy clothes. So whoever submitted this, good on you, because you know us very well. Because that's spot on.
Jonas and I were talking about it. We're like, every time we do the assumption, and like we don't make these up. These are literally your guys' assumptions that you submit in, and it's so funny with all of our topics that we have done. It's so funny how someone has like had an assumption that relates to our topic. I know
there's always one that ties in.
Yeah, it's like pretty good. I'm like, wow, it's interesting. So anyway.
Cool.
We appreciate you guys for submitting your assumptions, being a part of this. I know there's still a lot of people in the world that don't listen to podcasts. I wasn't a very big podcast person till we started a podcast, so please give us your feedback. I'm still new to the podcast thing. Even though we've had multiple episodes, I still feel like I'm maybe not always the best at it. So yeah, please let us know how we're doing. If you guys are liking it, what we could change, what we could do different, what we could do better. And again, we thank you guys who have tuned in, subscribed, and listened to our channel. It's seriously, it's so awesome to like have such a big fan base, and you guys are like our family. And I know, again, we haven't really been on YouTube much, and I know you guys really like dialed in on that and really got to know us from that. And I hope.
I thought of a YouTube video idea, by the way.
You did?
Yeah, I forgot to tell you. This just reminded me. Sorry to cut you off. I get 10 different kinds of chocolate milk, and we do like a blind taste test. So I'll just pour them into different cups, and you rank them.
Okay, what do you guys say? Yeah?
Wouldn't that be, because that's like your thing, you love chocolate milk.
That.
And
I say this every freaking podcast, and it's so annoying because I'm like, we're going to do YouTube again. We're going to do YouTube again. We like haven't, and we haven't, and we haven't. But I promise you guys, we are going to do it. It's just been the first kind of couple months of this year have just been chaotic and crazy and so much going on. But Jonas and I, we've sat down, we've talked about it. We're going to start it. I promise. We just are waiting for life to just calm down just a bit because we're seriously have been so busy, and I was traveling so much. Oh, Mello.
Say hi, Mello.
So cute. Our cat is so cute. If you guys don't watch our podcast on YouTube, that's okay. But Mello tends to jump in a ton, and she's a part of the fam. But anyway, Jonas and I also have some exciting news coming up.
Next
Hopefully
week.
we'll be able to share with you guys next week. So we're really excited.
Tune in. It'll be the best episode of the year.
Tune in, and then trying to think if there's anything else.
That's it. I think that's it.
We're excited. I feel like we need to put like a little teaser on social media about some exciting news. I've been so bad with social media lately. And like I have not had anything to post. And yeah, I've been doing some fun collabs with different companies, which has been really, really fun. And I hope you guys have been loving that stuff. But I also just haven't posted a lot of personal stuff lately. But we should do a little teaser and get all you guys excited for some exciting news coming. So anyway, it's going to be really fun, really cool. And we are so excited for you guys to, again, be a part of the fam. We love you. And thanks for tuning in. Hopefully I didn't talk too much for the last 5 minutes. But I'm just super grateful for you guys. This is seriously like, my fans mean a lot to me, and I know I'm not the best with social media, and I'm not on it all the time and interacting with you guys, but you guys have been my homies and have supported me through the thick and thin, and now you're part of my life after my journey and seeing where else it takes me. So thanks, guys.
We'll catch you next week.
See ya.